Hey guys, today I went to Shay's Filipino Cafe. They've got two locations, one in Waipio, that's their original restaurant, and they recently opened up another location in Kakaako in Salt. So if you live more towards town, then you can also try some really good Filipino food. And I just got a whole bunch of different things. I've never been here before, but I have tasted all these dishes at other places. So I was curious to try as many things as I could. So I got the 3-choice mixed plate. They have a 2-choice mixed plate as well. And I upgraded to garlic rice or garlic fried rice. And then I got their Pinakbet, which is a mixture of meat and veggies, kind of like a veggie stew. I got their sari-sari, which I've shown before at Thelma's, and also Elena's. And I also got mango beans and lechon kawali and a little bit of dessert. So we'll dig in without further ado and try out their 3-choice mixed plate. We'll start off with a pinakbet. And if you don't know what it is, it's just a bunch of veggies like eggplant, long green beans, pumpkin, and sometimes they have bitter melon in it. I don't really see it in this one. And tomatoes, and it's stewed together with some pork. Really flavorful. You can definitely taste the fish sauce in there. They use fish sauce. And for those that have never had it, sounds gross, but actually really brings out the flavor in food. And there's no fishiness at all. It's just got its own salty flavor. I do see one big piece of bitter melon. No, it's not too bitter. Some people don't like it. It is actually quite bitter. Other words for it are Goya. Some people call it that, but I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me as long as it's not too bitter. It's a good practice to soak it in water if you're cooking to get some of that bitterness out. But this one's pretty palatable. I like the big chunks of meat in here too. They're not too stingy with their stuff. I think this is a very healthy veggie dish, although it's not vegetarian. It's got good taste, and you know, it's mostly veggies, so it's pretty healthy. All right, let's dig into this garlic fried rice. You get regular rice with this, but I upgraded for a couple of more dollars. But well worth it. It's very, very garlicky, and I like garlic, so very flavorful. All right, my other choices for the 3-choice were soupy things, so they put them in these 2 different containers, so I have to eat them separately. So we'll go over the mango beans. It's pretty much just kind of like beans or lentil looking things, and it's stewed in a broth with the lechon as well. The beans are kind of mashed, or they kind of split naturally when you cook them, kind of like lentils. So it's got this really nice creamy flavor. Everything's really flavorful. I'm very impressed. Nice and warm too. Warms the soul. This is like stick to your ribs food. And everything's still really hot, because I'm going to complain right now. Some people don't want to hear it, but Tier 3 started, yesterday on Oahu, which means that the mayor upgraded the tier, which means more people can be out and about. And to me, that means everybody comes from under their rock and causes traffic and crashes their car, because nobody seems to know how to drive here. I'm sorry. I'm from here, so I can say that. They do not know how to drive here. They don't. So when I went to get my food, it was took me 45 minutes to get just to one exit on the freeway to get my food. And there was just multiple car crashes. I don't just understand, but knowing that it went overtime because my food was supposed to be done way before 45 minutes, this is still piping hot. So everything's still holding good in this container. This is the sari sari. Also a soupy thing. And I guess it's all got the same theme if you think about it. It's got a nice broth, but this is a lighter broth and not as tomato-y as the Pinakbet. But it's all got the same veggies, the eggplant, got some ong choy in there, some squash. It's very yummy. One of my favorite Filipino dishes. It's kind of like comfort food, and when you mix the broth with the rice, so good. This also has a lot of pork in it, lechon. So all the dishes seem to have it, but it's what gives the broth a good flavor. This sari sari also gives you a really, big chunks of lechon as well. They're really meaty and filling. And if you're not looking for the 3 choices or all kinds of things and you're kind of picking, you only want one dish, they do sell these entrees just by itself if you want. If you never had Filipino food, I wouldn't be afraid of it. I'd definitely try it. I'll be honest and say I never really tried it until I was an adult. Never had it as a kid. I never had anybody cook it for me. And my family never ever took me out to these places. But it's really healthy food. Besides the lechon part, the fried pork, but everything's really tasty, and I like the fact that there's a lot of veggies. But it's not boring, how you think healthy food's boring. It's very, very tasty. Shay's also serves breakfast, so they have like adobo fried omelets with lechon in it. They have ube pancakes, stuff like that, or just the typical eggs with your rice and like the Filipino sausage, longanisa. The menu looks really fabulous for breakfast, so you can also try it out if you're curious about their breakfast. And they do serve this garlic fried rice with the omelet, so I can see that as being super bomb. Almost kind of reminds me of like Julie's in Kapolei, which I have not reviewed, but I don't really go out to that side too often. It's just so far away. But if you're in the Kapolei area too, Julie's is a great Filipino restaurant. All right, moving on to the next dish is what everybody loves about Filipino food, is their lechon kawali. And this is their mini, and it's pretty big for a mini. It comes with your sauce. I'll put some on there. But I've tried it at all the other places I've been to, but I just gotta try everybody's lechon and see how it compares. Of course, Thelma's is the best to me, and Elena's is good too, and so is Julie's, but let's try Shay's. So if you don't know what lechon kawali is, it's a roasted, or in the Philippines anyway, it's turned over coals the old-fashioned way, but I'm sure it's not done like that at a restaurant here. But it's pork. It's kind of like Chinese roast pork in a way, but different flavor, different spices, and it's got the nice crispy skin. I guess some people can boil it with the spices and then they fry it in the oil, but the best lechon is the one that's turned over a spit of coals. So let's try this out with the crispy skin. After all that time sitting in traffic, still crispy, delicious. I like how they sliver the onions the way they do, and they're really generous with that, and the tomatoes. That to me just gives it so much flavor. It's the best part. Some people hate onions and tomatoes, so they are nice. In their website, you can check whether you want the tomatoes and onions or not. So if you don't like this stuff, they will omit it if you don't want it. I will say I like the sauce. The dipping sauce is nice and vinegary, but not too strong. I'm not really a vinegar fan, but with lechon I do like it. But sometimes it's super strong, or sometimes you get the kind that's super salty. But this has the right balance where it's not too sour, but you still can tell there's vinegar in it, and it's not salty at all. It complements the meat. Super good. I like it. And last but not least, there's dessert. And one of my favorites is banana lumpia. And if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much like a spring roll with a crispy wrapper, but instead of meat inside, it's banana and sugar. So we'll take a taste of that. Still crispy too. It's pretty amazing how I was stuck in all that traffic, then had to come home and everything's not soggy. Delicious. It's not too sweet, but you taste that nice banana filling, and they're pretty generous with it. It's not too skimpy on the banana inside, and it's just the right amount of sugar inside, because sometimes people make banana lumpia and there's not enough sugar. To me, it's just kind of like really skimpy on the sugar, and they just throw the bananas in there and it just kind of tastes, I don't know, just not so good. But this is yummy. If you bring this home for takeout and you have some ube ice cream in your freezer, this would go really well with that. Okay, so that's my review of Shay's. We'll go over the pros and cons of the place. For the 3 choice, I thought it was a pretty good deal. And if you're not sure of what to eat, even if you know what Filipino food is and you just can't, make a choice, you want everything, it's a great thing to pick 3 things. I think it's a pretty good deal. It's $13 for the 3 choice plate, and they have all kinds of stuff. For one, I know I'm gonna get heat for this, but I don't care for pork adobo or chicken adobo. I just don't like the vinegar, but I know a lot of people like it, so that's one of the choices. It's a popular choice. You can get other things like Bicol Express, which you don't really see much in other places, so they serve that, and all kinds of stuff, pancit and stuff. So yeah, $13 for all that food. I think it's a pretty good deal. It's better than buying 3 different entrees and spending more. I loved all the food. The sari-sari, the pinakbet was especially delicious. I've had some at other places where it's just okay, but this one's a pretty good one. I really like the garlic fried rice. That was very tasty. I definitely eat it with a breakfast dish. If you ever do go to breakfast, I think it's really would complement an omelet with the lechon in it. And the mango beans were tasty as well, and they're pretty generous with the lechon in there too, because they're in all the dishes. They're not skimpy on the meat. The lechon kawali itself, I liked the crispiness, how everything held its heat and crispiness, even though I had a long drive home. And I like how they added a lot of tomato and onion. That to me is my favorite part, and the sauce was just right. It wasn't too sour, wasn't too salty, because sometimes places can make it way too salty, and it kind of overpowers everything because there's already seasoning on the lechon. So this complemented everything well with the sauce. And then finally, I love the banana lumpia. I thought it was delicious. I wish they gave you more, but you get 2 lumpias with 1 order. So the negatives, I don't really have a negative. You have to, you can call it in, I believe, but I use their website. They have a very easy online ordering system. If you're interested, I'll put the website in the box below, and then you choose which place you're going to go to. That's very important because they have 2 locations, either the Waipahu or Kakaako one. So make sure you pick the right one when you put in your order. It was very easy to do, and it was done on time when I got there. Even though I was stuck in traffic, I'm sure it was done on time. And everything was packed well as well. They didn't shove everything in one bag. They neatly separated it and made all the soupy items in one bag. I don't have any negatives. I really don't. Everything was done perfect. Everything's tasty. They kept their crispness and their heat. All the soups were still hot after that long wait. There's plenty of parking in the. It's located in the Waipio shopping center where the Foodland is. And Nancy's Kitchen is another famous one there. So lots of parking. You don't have to fight over anything. And yeah, I don't have a negative. Maybe that the lumpia was a little bit expensive. So we'll go over the price. The 3 choice meal, like I said, was $13, but I did substitute my garlic rice, which is more. That's $2. But if you just get regular white rice, it's $13. Lechon Kawali Mini is $7, which I think is a deal. If you're hungry for lunch, you need a small lunch, even though it's a lot in there, I think that's a pretty big mini. $7, that's a deal. And the banana lumpia is $6 just for 2 tiny pieces. So that, if anything, would be my negative. So my subtotal for all this stuff that I ate, and I didn't even finish it because I still got the lechon, but I pretty much finished my 3-choice meal, was $28. So not bad. So if you're interested in trying Filipino food, or you're into Filipino food but never heard of Shay's, try it out. Everything was tasty, parking's easy to find, and the online ordering was very simple. And I got there and it was ready and in and out, because you already paid online. You don't need to deal with anything. So I'll see you on another food adventure. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and check out the rest of my channel and use the search bar on my channel page to search for any restaurants that you may be looking for and curious about, and check out my reviews about them. Or if you don't know what to eat, maybe just browse through and see what kind of places I've been to, and maybe it'll give you some ideas on where to go visit when you're in the island of Oahu. So I'll see you later. Peace out. Take care. Bye.